Hello, everybody out there in football betting land. Right now, you're sitting with my partner, Zack, Cimini, and Harvard, Hollis, Barnhart. And you know what, Zack? I don't know how many calls you've had to the radio stations. I remember when we used to do the radio show on CBS, Fox, NBC, and things like that. You know, we were on there every week, but now we're pretty exclusive to just not having any of the radio shows and getting everything on the websites and all that. But the talk of the town around the sports book where I am is, everybody wants to know who I'm picking. 12-2, 86% for you and I. Two heads are definitely better than one. You know what? It's amazing when you agree on a play, I agree on a play. Hey, that's what it's about. I know that we're going to be talking about the one of the games this week, the New England-Indianapolis game, and right from the start, you're on Indy, I'm on New England, so I'll give my sides, you give your sides, but that's going to show you why maybe you want to leave that one alone and go to the one games that we do agree on. Right. You know, it's worked magical. Right now, overall, for you guys that are keeping score at home, we're 28-12 overall on all of our picks. But more importantly, on the ones that I know, everybody wants just one game you can hang your head on. I've been betting for 34 years, and I just want that one big game that I can put whatever I want to put on. And last week, we racked up 63 points against Iowa State by taking Texas Tech. Many of you guys got that game. I think we were down a little bit early, but 63-30 or whatever the final score was. I don't remember finals that well.
How bad has Iowa State been this year?
Iowa State's not good. In fact, they got a big game this week coming up where, they might get another blowout. They're just not capable. They're rebuilding a little bit, lost some key players last year. But then, you know what, we came back. I was surprised that you were laying points on the road when you and I looked at our charts. And I had also laid points on the road with Arizona. You know, they just keep coming back to the promised land. And I don't know if there's non-believers or people from the East Coast, which makes up a lot of the bets, just haven't seen enough of the West Coast teams, and maybe that's it. Or the ones that they've seen, maybe they're concentrating on teams like Denver and teams like Seattle, maybe it's the AFC, but they let the Arizona Cardinals get the cash again. So that moved us up to 12-2, 86%, all documented. This week, I love this week. I know you do. We met last night and early this morning. A triple systems play, 100% in a system that's never lost. It's probably my favorite type of game for the entire year. It's just not me and Zack, but the systems work out on this, and that means the money's going to be going exactly the way we want it. The point spreads came out the way we want it. There's no look ahead or look behind games. There was no fluke from the team. This is one of those under-the-radar teams that you might never bet unless we told you that this game is going to get the cash by 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns, over your point spread. So let's look at that. And then Sunday, I know you're keen on one of the games that I'm also on, our Underdog Shocker of the Year. So we're going to have 2 10-star plays available on Friday, 2-for-1 special this week. We're going to go ahead and continue that. And also 28-12 overall on all of our picks. So pick up that 3 for the money, and then pick up that little 2 10-star package for Saturday and Sunday. And speaking of in the money, let's just turn right around. We've got Snitchgate, as I've named it, with New England playing Indianapolis. For you guys that were in a cocoon last year, you remember the deflated football that the Indianapolis reported to the officials at halftime. So we're going to label that the snitch game of the year coming up. First of all, Zack, I know you're on Indy, I'm on New England, so this might be a game that I stay away from, but how can you make a case for Indianapolis when, and I'll wait for it, but Brady, 20 of 27 last week against Dallas, 275 in yards, no picks, 72% for the season in his completion with 11 touchdowns, no picks, 37 points per game. I don't know how Indianapolis can match up against their defense and even score in the 30s. I do know how Brady and New England could get to the 30s. Right now, there's no line on the game. It is 8.5, but it's off the board. So let me correct that. There is a line at 8.5. I don't think they're taking action. If they do, it's going to be limited circle because they're waiting for later in the week with see what Andrew Luck's status is. Matt Hasselbeck, he's old. What is he? 40 years old. Well, they have 14 players on their team that are over 30. One of the reasons I mentioned that, Zack, is the last 3 games, and I want everybody that was over 30 to remember these 3 times. New England, they didn't necessarily beat them with the pass or the defense. They just ran the ball downhill right at them. They rushed for 234 yards, 246 yards, and 177 yards. They scored 13 touchdowns in the last 3 games. Blowout, blowout, blowout. Speaking of Hasselbeck, he's okay, 63%, 500 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. But I'm telling you right now, get on Brady, get on Belichick, get on the Snitchgate game, get on the fact that it's been circled since last Super Bowl, that they're going to play. I mean, they've been playing this game in their mind all summer long, and here it is. So what do you have to get me off the New England laying the 8.5 points, provided it is? In fact, I'll tell you right now, let's keep it at 8.5. It might be, that's what it's going to be if Hasselbeck plays. The only thing it could be is a little bit lower if Andrew Luck, and I don't know that his shoulder can withstand the pains anyway of getting hit.
Yeah.
So take me off New England side. I want to hear what you got.
Well, it comes down to points, in my opinion. It's back-to-back road games for New England. They had the bye week, and they really were unchallenged by Dallas. So you're looking at 2 weeks of pretty much not playing football. The defense was unchallenged, and that's not going to happen this week against the Colts, especially if Andrew Luck's on the field. But that's all I see in it. Andrew Luck on the field. The team's lost to them 3 or 4 times in a row, and there has to be a certain point where the Colts have to wake up and say, hey, this is our chance to make a statement. We don't want to wait for the playoffs. We want to play a competitive game now. They know they're probably going to meet in the playoffs. They have the past couple of years. And each year the Colts team has made a progression. And, Andrew Luck's first year, they lost in the wild card round, and they lost in the division round last year, AFC Championship game. So to make that next step, they have to have the confidence going into the postseason that they can play with this Patriots team. They're at home. They've won 3 games. They probably shouldn't have won any of them with Andrew Luck hurt. They were down against the Titans when Andrew Luck was in that game. They came back and won it. They barely beat the Jaguars in overtime, thanks to missed field goals by the Jaguars. And then last week against the Texans, the defense kind of was susceptible and gave up a lot of big plays. But if Ryan Mallett had started that game over, or Brian Hoyer had started that game over Ryan Mallett, who knows if that would have been a different outcome. So I think the team has to feel confident that they were able to steal a couple of wins with Matt Hasselbeck on the field, while Andrew Luck gets his shoulder, maybe not 100%, but it's closer than it was before. At home, Patriots value right now is sky high. Nobody expected them to do that against Dallas. And I think right now is a perfect opportunity, this 5th time that they've played each other the last 3 years, that the Colts can get this number and cover. They might not win, but they'll cover this.
Well, the Colts are picking one hell of a week to get their start, their charge, and get their confidence to continue on Snitchgate. So we'll see how that pans out. Here's a game that I think everybody can bet. When do they play this? The New York Giants, Philly. That's a Monday night game. I want to talk a little bit about, the totals. I don't put out a lot of totals, but when I do, it's usually pretty solid. I'm not going to play the game per se right now. Right now, we're showing Philly -4, and the over and under is 50. You can write this down from Harvard. I'm going to be playing the over 50 in this game. Manning looks good. He got no problems. He knows how to score. 10 touchdowns this year, 2 interceptions, 1,400 yards. He's only been sacked twice, so he's going to get it out. But one thing, when you're talking about throwing laser passes where you have a window of maybe a half a yard and it has to be in a split-second timing, he threw the ball 54 times last year. That's a lot of times to throw the ball and then get re-healed up, and took a couple shots and things like that. So let's put him off on the side that, yes, he'll get the job done, but there could be some defensive plays that, maybe we'll get a quick run back or a quick defensive score. Sam Bradford, on the other hand, for the Philadelphia Eagles, everybody says he's not getting it done, but if you look at their total offense, their offense is 7th in points, 7th in passing. It's their defense that sucks. I'm going to grade the defense as an F. They're 23 in yards allowed. They're 32nd in pass defense. Now, who are they up against? The Giants defense? I'm going to give them a D+. 32nd in passing yards allowed, and they're ranked 27th in total defense. So you got 2 teams that have 0 defense, and I'm predicting right now that both teams will score 24 points each or higher. So 24-24. If it finishes that, fine, it's under. But I'm telling you, both teams will score more than I think one will be in the high 20s and one will be in the mid 30s. So I think it flies over the 50. What do you have on this game?
Yeah, total. That's a good opinion there. I don't play totals that much either, so that one's always tough for me. But I think I like the points here with the Giants. I just think if you look at how poor they were last year on offense to where they are now, there hasn't been a team in the NFL that's made as vast improvements as the Giants. The running backs, I didn't like them last year, but for some reason, the addition of Shane Vereen, I think, adds an element because they didn't have a pass catcher last year. Shane Vereen comes in on second, third down, does his job, and he's probably the top 3 in NFL as pass catching running back. And you've got Andre Williams, Rashad Jennings. They're decent enough to keep the Eagles' poor defense off balance. Then you get Eli Manning. Maybe he doesn't have a healthy Odell Beckham Jr. or Ruben Randall, but do you think both those guys are going to miss Monday Night Football?
Well, you got to check the hamstring. Hamstrings do not know it's Monday night, so but let's check our injury reports as we get down to the week.
Yeah, and if not, I think Eli Manning showed on that last drive to beat the 49ers, he can find weapons, and he did that in finding Larry Donnell back in the end zone. What a catch that was, huh?
Oh, amazing. But both these teams could put up points, and you know what? I would have to lean towards the Giants plus the points because even if Philly, it could be back and forth all day because I think they're just going to match scores, and I think you can just throw the record books out the window.
Yeah, and my last point on that is the division side of things. You're seeing Chip Kelly's offense and his system kind of stumble a little bit against division opponents. We saw the Washington Redskins and Dallas Cowboys handle them as best as any teams have this season. And if Kirk Cousins can do it and Brandon Weeden can do it, why can't Eli Manning?
Well, and one more big loss. If Philly gets blown out, Chip Kelly might be applying for that USC job. Get back in that top 10 if he isn't already, right. So anyway, make sure you guys click over. By Friday, we'll have this up, the 100% triple systems play in a system of 3 systems that's never lost. And then we're going to come back Sunday with our underdog shocker of the year. Right now, we stand at 12-2, 86% on these 10-star plays. So, get them before they, we run out of season. And, but 12-2, 86%. And overall on all games for the year, 28-12, all documented. So thanks for watching the video, and click over there by Friday, and you should have 2 easy, solid winners for Saturday and Sunday. See you next week.